You know, usually I do a segment. What's that segment called, yeah?
Louis got a segment called "Fuck All the Small."
Fuck all the small talk. So let's get
Fuck
busy,
it.
right? Let's get to it. Like, how many of your family members asked you for some money after you got that big check? After you scored that big check? After them niggas, after all that, the drama went on, and you won that money. I mean, I think we Googled it, was say 1.7. You know what I mean? Look, ladies, if you want something, rack, he the guy.
How many play cousins came out?
How many play cousins you ain't known
I
5,
changed
6
diapers
years?
when you was little.
How many new friends you had?
Ask my bro. Me and Detail was just talking about that shit. He said, man, when that shit came out, everybody was around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody started hitting my phone, calling me, trying to be in the mix and all that. You know.
And what did you gain from that situation? Like, did you actually get the money yet, or no? Like, what happened with that?
I'm still working on it right now.
You're going to do legalities from the situation?
Yeah, it's a working process. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a good rebuttal when they ask you for something like, I ain't even get it yet. You could, you gave with that for a little minute.
What did you learn from that situation though? Like, as far as, you know, the publishing side of it, so on and so forth.
Well, hold on, Louis, for our followers that's not familiar, he got to walk us back to what we even talking about.
Let's walk him back. So let's go back to the place right there. Let us know what happened and how it happened, and then, you know, bring us all the way to where we at now.
Pretty much I was doing what I do, you know what I mean? Pushing this record core, everything be lit, traveling, moving around, you know, networking with niggas and shit.
That's the joint with Mano on the hook.
Yeah, Mano, Vado.
You wrote the hook, or that's Mano?
No, I wrote the hook.
Oh, that's
key
niggas.
right there.
Jersey, look at that. I always tell niggas, Jersey, baby.
And you had the foresight to put him on the hook?
What happened was it was an original version with just me and Vado. So then I ran across somebody that I'm cool with. Yeah, that's cool with Mano. They was just like, yo, you might as well put him on the hook. So Mano was the first. Mano was like, nah, let me get a verse.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, it's too much going on. You might as well jump on the hook. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely when 3-verse songs was dying.
Yeah, it was too much. Like, I'm like, yo, Mano, you might as well just jump on the hook, do it over. And then he did it.
I definitely heard the version without Mano on it.
That's the version that they was playing first.
In the clubs.
And then we tried to revamp it and put Mano on it. Well, we did revamp it and put Mano on it. But long story short, at that time, I had a couple people working my music, working my records, trying to give me a situation. And I ran across Think It's a Game. That's a label that Yfn Lucci is actually signed to. TIG. We was in the works of working out a situation. They was trying to sign me for the record. Everything Be Lit and Drinker too. So I was working with them, you know, doing what I got to do, trying to work something out. But they're like they're an independent label, so they can only sign one person at a time and focus on one person at a time. Yeah. They don't really have a super engine, you know, to multitask and focus on multiple artists. So at that time, who they had at that time? At that time, they had Jacquees, they had Rich Homie Quan, they just got Lucci, but they basically, Birdman ended up taking Jacquees the Cash Money, so they had Rich Homie. Then I think Rich Homie and them had a fallout, and then they was just like focusing on Lucci. Right. So they were just like, yo, when we get Lucci up and running, we gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward, they had all my music, like I said. I'm still doing what I'm doing. Me and Fat Boy running around, you know, doing shit for the kids and shit. They got the records playing on the radio, self-co-signing and shit. Shit moving, you know what I mean? I end up going on tour with Zoe Dollars. We go to Philly, Club Onyx. I don't think Onyx open anymore.
I think they revamped it. They got a new name to it though.
Yeah, so we in Onyx, me and Zoe doing our thing, and Pnb Rock comes to the show and shit. So he chilling with us. Me and Zoe, you know, at this time, the DJ playing the record 30 times. You feel me? I'm performing the record on stage. He right there by me while I'm performing the record on stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was cool, you know. I end up getting his number, exchanging numbers with him and shit, you know. It was cool, you know. Can't really say nothing, you know what I mean? So fast forward from that, you know, I'm still in cahoots with Think It's a Game, but not really work out.
Right.
I'm still doing what I gotta do, you know, moving around. And next thing you know, the record come out, you know, Every Day We Lit.
She went with double platinum, triple platinum.
Did you hear it yourself first, or somebody had to catch on and then told you?
I'm gonna be real, like I was a little naive at first because I really didn't know nothing about copyright infringement. And then I'm gonna tell you personally, like I don't be pressed for confrontation and shit. Like I was like, all right, whatever. But it got to the point that people kept coming to me like, yo, I don't know what's going on with that record sound. A lot like this shit.
Because the beat, you know why? Because it felt like they sped the beat up. same or similar. Something was similar about the beat, but obviously the words was there.
Like
the melody,
it
was like, you know what I mean? It was like too much like it for me.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie, I was naive at first. I'm not gonna hold you.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
nah. I'm thinking, not even really thinking like, bro, like you did times with Pnb, like Lucci label was trying to sign you. Like
There's too many coincidences.
Too many.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like, nah. I'm like, nah, they ain't whatever. But people kept coming up to me like, yo, that record sound too much like yours. And I had a producer, I don't want to say his name, but he real popular at the time. You know, he still is popular now, actually, than what he is, but he was back then. He got a lot of hit records right now. Shout out to him.
Okay.
But he called me one day because he was fucking with the Everything Be Lit record. He liked the original, you know, my version.
Right.
So, and he knew that I was working on getting a deal with Think It's a Game. And he called me one day. He said, yo, Cam, what's going on? Like, what's going on with you and Think It's a Game? I'm like, I'm playing dumb and shit because I don't know if they told him to call me and they fishing around or whatever. So I'm playing dumb because I don't know what's going on. I don't know who on the phone or whatever. So he like, yo, what's going on? Hold up. So he like, what's going on with you on that record? I mean, you don't think it's a game. I'm like, what you mean? He like, yo, the records sound very similar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he a producer, so him telling me that, it's like,
him, his ear different. That's
right,
a fact.
but he know all the mechanics and shit behind the scenes, like of an actual record, like the structure when you break a record down, you know?
And you already got it was copywritten before all that. Before all this, you had everything.
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, yeah.
And after that. So he like, yo, you gotta call them and they owe you some publishing. Straight like that, he told me that shit. And I'm like, oh shit, for real? Like, thanks.
Son, he looked you out.
Because you probably wouldn't have
Shout out
moved
to
if you
him.
had a
Probably would
conversation.
never moved.
Shout out
If
to
he would
him.
never told me that, you know?
Right.
And he a real nigga for that. You know, I never put him on blast, but it's crazy, yo. He a real nigga for that. But yeah, so I started looking into it, you know, was weighing my options and whatnot. And I found somebody who helped me take the case. But now, back to the copyright situation, realistically, I could have won 8.8 million.
God damn.
If you copywritten it the right way.
So what happened was, a lawyer of mine, you know, I ain't gonna put him on the spot, but he copywritten my shit wrong.
Not my boy.
Damn.
Yeah, that's just yeah, he copywritten my shit wrong. And I don't know if he knew or whatever the case may be, but so when you do a copyright, it's a little bit of knowledge for people out there that's listening.
Pay attention, y'all.
When you copyright a record, there's only two ways to do it. You can only copyright it as one single song, or you gotta do it as a compilation, like an album. You know what I'm saying? There's no in between. So it's either one record or a compilation. You gotta put it out as a project or you copyright it. So he was trying to do 4 singles into one. So what happened was when he sent out the information to the copyright office, he had all his information. He didn't put mine. So they reaching out to him, trying to figure out like, yo, basically tell him like, yo, you gotta fix this. Copyright it is wrong.
Right.
Couldn't get in contact with him. He running around doing his thing or whatever. Me, I'm calling these niggas. Because mind you, I did that shit way before their record even came out. My shit was supposed to be done.
Like a year or two before it came out?
I ain't gonna say a year or two, but like a year.
A lot of time.
A lot.
It
was
a couple
came out
months.
what, 14, 15?
Mine was like end of 15.
15.
But that's when I did the copyright around that time.
But it came out 14 though, right?
Did it come out 14?
Had to be like 14.
It had to be like 14, I think.
Probably was.
That's when I was outside.
Probably was. I said like 15 early. I said like 15.
Late 14, early 15, something like that.
The only reason why I want to say late or early 15 is because theirs came out into 2016, and it was probably like a year after I dropped mine.
Okay.
So I'll probably say like the summer of 2015.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I remember that I was running the streets, passing out T-shirts and CDs and all that other shit, pushing the record. But yeah, so the copyright office trying to get in contact with my lawyer and basically let them know like, yo, you filed this shit wrong, you know? So by the time I end up calling, and if anybody know anything about the copyright office, that shit is like calling unemployment.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't get nobody on the phone, dog. Like, facts, you can't get nobody on the phone. One day I kept calling, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. One day I looked up and got somebody on the phone, and he ended up helping me, and I ended up getting it through. But by the time, because for what people don't know is like, say today, I put in a copyright today.
Right.
Today would be the date, like the publication date, but it don't count towards your copyright. It's actually the registration date. That's when they process it. You feel me?
Right.
So that's the date that they got to honor when it comes to a lawsuit. Is the registration date, not the actual date that you put it in. It's like it count, but it don't count. You know?
No. So it's different between the processing date and the completion of registration. So the
date,
completion of
exactly.
registration, they gave you compensation for, but not the processing.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
So it came out after. So basically, the period of time, the date they gave me was after they came out with their record. But I really did it way before,
bro.
You know what I mean? So that shit had me tight, but it's like.
Let me ask you a real question though, like on some honesty shit, like from the heart. You honestly think you gonna get that money, or you think they gonna keep holding up? Because you already won a case. The hardest part is over.
I don't want to, go too deep into it, but honestly, everybody asks me that question. I feel like I am now. If it was the 8 million, I don't know. That's a lot of bread. You feel me? But the 1.7, I definitely think I'm getting it because.
You think they're gonna pay you in installments?
Nah, it's a process with that shit. Like, so for anybody that don't know, when it comes to a lawsuit and you sue somebody for copyright infringement or anything like that, they actually freeze the royalties for the record. So nobody is able to actually get it. So once they freeze all the money and everything like that, you get access to that first.
So, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's been 2 years, 3 years now.
Yeah. So everything's been frozen.
So when is it gonna? Like, how does that part now? So, how do we get them unfrozen to you know what I mean?
Right now you're going through appeals, niggas trying to appeal this shit or whatever the case may be, but.
Oh, so they don't let nothing out until everything is over.
Yeah.
Oh, they gonna try to ransack.
It's gonna be like 18 months.
It's already been 2 years. They gonna keep trying to do that. Keep trying to appeal it. But you only allowed 3 appeals?
Yeah, like 2. So, but like I said, judge already put everything in my favor. And he's not gonna reverse it. So niggas just stalling, wasting their time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They gonna give you a shit. By the time you get the shit, it'd be like we worth 2.6 million.
I'm hoping.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, run it up.
Wrong with it?
Yeah.
Run it up.
Now you as an artist, once you really accept it, like they took my shit. Are you souped? Like you like, dag, I made something so hot they wanted to take my shit.
Nah.
Or you were more upset?
Say it again.
Or were you more upset?
I wasn't even really upset, and I wasn't really like soup.
Nah.
I just felt like, fuck it. Like everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right. Fuck it, you'll make another one.
I gotta work it out, and I'll make another record.
Do you feel like that was a make or break moment for you? Do you feel like that made your career? Because I've recently seen that you got 16 million streams and 12 million on Spotify, 16 million on YouTube or something like that. And was that most of those views after that situation?
Yeah, in the process of me just growing as an artist.
Right. So you think it's a little bit of both? It's a mixture.
A little bit of both. But that situation definitely put the spotlight on me.